Guys, Sage's Rage here from SexyClan.com, an online gaming community. What we have for you today is a simple little tutorial that shows you how we create these edge effects on some of the SIGs we use on our forums. And basically what it is a simple method of creating a roughed or irregular edge using brushes and layer masks. I get a lot of questions on how we do these various types, and they're all basically utilize the same technique. And I'm going to show you that technique right now. Basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to create a layer beneath your existing layer. You can do that by holding down the control key and then hitting new layer, and what that does is put it right beneath the current active layer. And then you want to pick a color that's off gray, just so we can see as we work around the edge what we're doing, sort of a 50% gray sort of a thing, or any color that you think will represent well underneath, because that's what's going to show through. And then you just fill it with that color. Now, back up to our image. What we're going to do is create a layer mask rather, and then once we have the layer mask created, we need to pick a brush. Now, I do this with all different types of brushes, but I'm going to use one that's in Photoshop already. That way you can see and actually try this tutorial and get a similar type of a look. So what we do is we have our brush here, and the first thing we want to do with our brush, because when you just brush like that, it's a regular shape. You're not going to get a very interesting or cool edge. So we want to go in and we hit F5. That brings up the brush dialog box, which allows you to set the characteristics of the brush. And the really important part is to go into Shape Dynamics and adjust the angle jitter. And what the angle jitter does is it incrementally, each time the brush makes an impression, it's going to flip by some degree, by that percentage, 18% each time, and it's going to give it an irregular edge rather than a flat edge, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So we come around here and see how that's an irregular edge, as opposed to just a standard brush which would have given us a straight line. So once we've accomplished that and we've got the angle jitter set, we can also go to scattering and we can change the count. That's the number of impressions it's going to make, and we can scatter it. Sometimes that can give us an interesting effect. So those two are the primary ones. You can play with the settings and basically generate a nice irregular edge. That's all you're trying to accomplish. Another thing that's a quick handy tip is if you hold down your Alt key and then you right click on your mouse, you can move left or right. Left to decrease the size of your brush, right to increase. So once you've done that and you got a nice size, you just basically paint right over the edge. Real simple. You just go right around it like that. Nothing too spectacular. And you see what that generated for us is a nice irregular edge with some little leftover artifacts from when we were going around. Really neat looking. And then we can just come in here and add a style, like a bevel emboss and a contour and maybe a drop shadow or something like that. And presto, you got an interesting little thing. You can just throw somebody's screen name on there and you got a SIG. And that's it.